Alright, hi, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Wonder Snatch. Today I'm going to be recreating my alien Xenomorph Queen look that I did for Drag Quabre Boolesque 3. Okay, it was a very successful show, and Alien has been one of my favorite franchises, alright? And a lot of work went into this outfit, so I really have recreated to try to take some nice pictures. Alright, so we're going to talk a bit about Alien today, and maybe a bit of wrap-up of our latest Boolesque. And don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that bell for post notifications, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I've blocked everything and blocked my brows out with white. I don't think I need face hips today because there's not much of a face going on. I'm going to try to make my skin a little bit of this greyish blue, which is the color of my bodysuit, to make it a bit more cohesive. For the actual show, for Boolesque 3 last week, I had to start off with being Audrey. Okay, so I had a regular female look. Okay, and the whole story was that Audrey and Seymour has are trying to spice up their sex life. And the magical plant in this case is actually Seymour's penis, and he takes a cursed alien Viagra which grows and grows and grows and becomes a chest buster. So kills Audrey in the process, and Audrey morphs into the Xenomorph at the end, which is me. It's just a lot of ways to shoehorn the outfits that I really wanted to do, and I've always really wanted to do this Xenomorph look. Okay, it's one of my it's always been something that I always wanted to do for drag. To get ready for the show, I rewatched almost all the Alien movies because they are really my favorite. It's almost like a slasher meets monster meets science fiction. It's really so good. So without further ado, I'm going to use my Monster Grey and it's going to cover my whole face. Okay, the eyes are going to be really dark. I think I'm going to take some inspiration from Auntie Heroine, okay, who's on Dragula right now, for the eyes, but the mouth is going to be a big painted mouth with all the teeth and everything, which means I probably need to just block out my mouth first. Okay, on the day itself, I just basically painted half my face black, which Midas helped me do in between songs. Okay, this is going to be basically the mask where my alien teeth are going to be. This is going to basically cover the rest of it in Monster Grey. I think this is the perfect grey. Got a little touch of blue in it. Really matches my bodysuit. Okay, so Alien. Alien was created and produced, the very first Alien, in 1979 by Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, of course, has gone on to be one of the biggest auteur directors, okay? And he also helped to produce this TV show on HBO Max called Raised by Wolves, okay, with a lot of very similar themes to Alien, okay? All this panspermia, which is basically the thought that, you know, life on Earth and other planets are basically seeded from other galaxies, okay? And a lot of very Christian and biblical themes as well, of creation and destruction and stuff like that. And you can see a lot of these themes in the Alien movies. Okay, he's obsessed with all that. Cover them ears. Okay, this is going to be a bitch to wash off. Okay, and the very first Alien was, of course, made during the era of all these slashes, so it was a very contained kind of show. Of course, with the budget that they had then, basically happening on a spaceship, okay, where these blue-collar workers were exploring an abandoned ship, and of course the alien was there. There wasn't very much explanation of the origin of the alien at this stage, okay, that comes a lot later. Okay, and of course Aliens, okay, which is the sequel, which is, a lot of people say is the best sequel, and then Alien Resurrection, which is the third one, which is where Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, her genes get kind of like mixed up with the Xenomorph. Okay, so I'm just going to add some highlights to the middle of my face here. So it wasn't until Alien Prometheus where we learned about the origins of the alien, right? That's when they introduced the engineers, okay, this very advanced alien race that purportedly created humans. So the whole idea is that they are really expert genetic manipulators, okay, and what they do is they go all around creating life, okay, and they created this thing called the black goo, which is basically some sort of supercharged DNA, which can create life from nothing, okay. And what they would do is they would go to abandoned planets, and one engineer would sacrifice his life by taking the black goo and basically dissolve into remnant DNA and RNA and proteins and everything. All these get reassembled on their planet to create life, okay, and then they would play God that way. And in planets that are already inhabit it, they would use this black goo to wipe out life on that earth, okay, by morphing it with local DNA and creating monsters that would kill off the populace, and then they would reseed it themselves with their own image. Okay, so they were quite nasty aliens. And this is what they discovered in Prometheus. Pretty close to what I want today. Everything else is going to be in the details. I don't need any brows today because I have bangs. The wig that I styled is basically like this very 60s beehive that looks like the alien head with bangs because you know it looks like this hooded thing over the eye. So the eyes are going to be quite minimal today. Most of it's going to be like in the mouth. Okay, you're going to set this part here with white. And the rest of it with some RCMA. Okay, I'm just going to set all this and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm just going to go in and paint in the teeth, okay? They're going to be overlapping teeth all the way up to the back here. I'm using my Depixim cosmetic emulsions, okay? I had this for a very long time, but never really got around to using it. Okay, so there's going to be one big tooth here. So it's spider-like. So after Prometheus, it was Alien Covenant, and this is basically where they had the synth David, who's a bit of a psychopath. The story is that he was the one that created the Xenomorph as the perfect organism, okay, because he was obsessed with creation. He was very bitter with humanity for limiting his creation. So when he broke out of his programming, he tried to create things, okay, when he was stuck on this planet, and he ended up creating the Xenomorph and killed off a whole ship full of people. Of course, the most recent is Alien Romulus, which was most recently released, and that was actually so good. This actually takes place in between the very first Alien and the sequel, okay, while Ripley was still in cryostasis. Okay, and they had a really cool design of this, what they call the offspring, okay, where the black goo was injected into a pregnant woman, and the baby basically came out as this kind of an alien-human hybrid. It was such a cool twist at the end of this movie, okay, spoiler alert. And this is actually played by a Russian basketball player called Robert Boolesque. Okay, he's got really tall. He looks like he's got some sort of genetic syndrome, but apparently he was tested for everything and no. He's got this kind of a webbed neck look, okay, and really long spindly arms. So he does look really, really creepy, and he does look a lot like the creature at the end, okay, like this mix of an engineer with an alien, and it was such a good design. So this is almost like a venom mouth. Okay, and of course there was all those Alien versus Predator movies, which apparently are non-canon. I didn't rewatch those. Those are not good. So more or less like that. And I'm going to fill in everything else in there with black. But I think I need to set all this white first because I don't think this is self-setting. I should have used the Create Paints, the James Charles Create Paints. Those self-set. So these I just have to just make sure that they're all set. Okay, using my Gothic palette. It's got all the colors I need today. Before I go in and fill in all that with black, I'm going to go in my liner. So it's going to be a big black eye. This one, I'm going to try my Suva Beauty. I've got all these cosmetic paints. I was really obsessed with getting like paints for a while, and I've hardly ever used them. Let's try this Suva Beauty Opaque. Suva Beauty, of course, has closed down. They were one of the cosmetic companies that really did not survive the pandemic. They were screwed over by Morphe and all that. Okay, so the eyes, as I mentioned, I want to go for anti-heroin. Okay, it's going to be a bit lower because my bangs are going to be here, so the eyes are going to be like that. Okay, and it's going to really funnel into a really sharp point on the nose. Basically, I'm going to go and draw a really huge wing. Like that. And cover my entire eye. This goes all the way down the nose. Okay, I'm just going to set all this with black now. Still using the Goth palette. Still using the same black. I'm just going to carve out a bit of a crease now. So don't forget, we still want this to be drag. Okay, now going in with my Trixie Cosmetics. So this Trixie Cosmetics dries out so fast. Okay, I'm going to have to reactivate it with a little bit of ink blot. So Inglot Duraline, this is what we can use to reactivate all these dried out liners. So I'm just going to scoop out a little bit here, put it on my palette and give it 1 drop of Inglot Duraline. See, now it's all creamy again. Okay, and now I'm going to go and cut my crease there. Okay, I'm going to use this to fill in white under eye too. Okay, I'm just going to clean all that up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've contoured a little bit and added some shadows there. Now I'm going in with my Create paints. This is my James Charles Create paints. These sell set, so these are really good. I basically used half a tube of this to basically paint paint out my mouth for the show. But this time I'm going to go in more carefully. I'm going to go and fill in this mouth area and at the same time sharpen up those teeth. You can say what you want about James Charles, but his products are actually pretty good. Okay, so of course the Xenomorph was based on illustrations by H.R. Geiger, who used to do a lot of work for things like heavy metal and all these really sci-fi paintings of the 70s. My dad used to collect all these and he used to see them all the time. So there's a lot of mix between organic aliens with machinery and stuff like that. So he's got all these tubings and everything, which I incorporated into my wig and my outfit as well. This is the best way to do it because you don't want to go black and then paint the white because it look grey. I want the white to look really, really white. So that's why I have to go around it like that. Alright, I'm just going to do this all the way around and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've painted everything into my mouth now and now I'm just shading a whole bunch of blacks around and giving some highlights just to, give it a little bit more depth and shading and dimension. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with some water activated liners just for some details. Okay, going in my Suva Beauty. Okay, I'm just going to use some of this water activated white paints. Just going to go in and just, I'm just going to add a little bit of dashes to make it look like a little bit of the tubing that you get in Geiger. Yeah, so sorry, this is one of my Snatchoween looks. It's going to be a little bit delayed. It has to go a little bit in November. Usually I try to do it all in October, but it's so busy this time around. Didn't really get to do that much. Oh, that looks pretty good. Because now we're actually going to go right into Christmas, preparations for Christmas. Usually for Halloween, I try to watch as many horror movies as I can. And this year is like really, really good year for horror movies. I watched The Substance, which is so crazy. I'm pretty sure most people would have watched it, but it is one of the best horror movies of this year, I think. Let's do a lot more shading here. And make it look a little bit more like there's lots of tubing and veins and stuff going on. Okay, and what else have I seen? I think I watched The Oddity, which is also quite good. Although it's quite a simple story, a bit like a monkey's paw kind of a story. I think the jump scares there were pretty good. I was really, really scared watching it. It's one of those shows that you don't want to go get something from the fridge in the middle of watching. Okay, so that's giving it this Geigerish look. Just gonna add these white details. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep adding details, and I think I'm almost done. I'm gonna put in some blackout lenses and I'll be back with a finished look. Ooh, alright, so this is the finished look. This is my Alien Queen. Kanin's here to help me because there's no way I can get into this alone. Okay, don't block my light. And this is the Alien Queen look. Okay, all finished. Made the back out of EVA foam. And this makeup really matches my outfit here. How's it look, Kanin? And it's all sparkly with all sorts of rhinestones too. Alright, so if you like this video and my little tutorial on the Alien franchise, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going off to take some pictures now. And I'll see you later. Bye. Sorry, my mouth. Sure. Okay, get me my thing. Oh yeah, I made this one. my wig is looking weird. Alright, so if you like this video, don't forget to check out my other Snatchoween content. Oh yeah, show them the face again. Oh, no.